The automatic doors slide open with a mechanical whisper, and I freeze. My hands are still resting on the woman's shoulder, the woman in the hospital bed, the one who asked me 15 minutes ago to lie for her, the one whose chart says, emergency contact, Dr. Marcus Coleman, fiancé. Alicia stands in the doorway, her eyes moving from my face to the patient's face, then down to where my hand touches her skin. The fluorescent lights hum above us. Someone drops a clipboard 3 rooms over. The sound echoes like a gunshot. Marcus? Alicia's voice is soft, confused, trembling at the edges. The woman in the bed, Nina, she said her name was Nina, turns so pale I instinctively reach for her wrist to check her pulse. Her skin is cold, too cold. Her lips part, but no sound comes out. I should explain. I should say something. Anything. But I don't even know where to begin. Because the truth is, I don't know why this stranger begged me to pretend we were engaged. I don't know why she started crying when I hesitated. I don't know why, when I finally agreed, she gripped my hand so hard her nails left crescents in my palm. All I know is that 30 seconds ago, I thought I was helping someone. Now looking at Alicia's face, the woman I've loved for 3 years, the woman whose ring sits in my apartment drawer waiting for the right moment, I realize I might have just destroyed everything. But what neither of them knows yet, what I don't know yet, is that this lie, it's the only thing keeping Nina alive. 24 hours earlier, the world made sense. I'm Marcus Coleman, 28 years old, second-year resident in internal medicine at Hospital St. Halstead. The name sounds impressive until you're 14 hours into a shift, your feet aching in shoes that cost more than your weekly grocery budget, and you're trying to remember if you ate lunch or just thought about eating lunch. The hospital sits on the east side of town, a sprawling complex of glass and steel that looks modern from the outside and exhausted on the inside. The is where I spend most of my time, a maze of curtained bays, the constant drone of monitors, the smell of antiseptic trying and failing to mask the scent of illness and fear. It's 6:47 a.m. The morning light filters through the industrial windows at the end of the hallway, pale and unconvincing. I'm sitting in the residence lounge, a glorified closet with a coffee maker that spits out liquid regret and a couch that smells like every person who's ever collapsed on it after a double shift. Dr. Sarah Chun, my co-resident and the person who keeps me sane, drops into the chair beside me. Her scrubs are wrinkled, her hair in a messy bun that she somehow makes look intentional. "Morning," she says, though it sounds more like a question than a greeting. "Is it?" I take a sip of coffee. It's cold. I drink it anyway. "Big plans today?" She's scrolling through her phone, probably reviewing labs or checking patient updates. The usual. Try not to kill anyone. Try not to get yelled at by an attending. Try to remember why I wanted to be a doctor in the first place. She laughs, that short, exhausted laugh that medical residents perfect by month 3. So typical Tuesday. Typical Tuesday, I confirm. My phone buzzes, a text from Alicia. "Good morning, baby. Lunch today?" I have a break at 1, I smile. Alicia Thompson, my girlfriend of 3 years. She's a social worker at Children's Services downtown. Same dedication to helping people. Same idealism that hasn't been completely crushed by the system yet. We met at a community health fair when I was still a medical student. She was running a booth about child welfare resources. I was taking blood pressures and pretending I knew what I was doing. She asked me if I knew the difference between systolic and diastolic. I said yes. She said, "Prove it." I took her blood pressure right there, told her it was 118/76, and asked if I could take her to dinner to discuss the finer points of cardiovascular physiology. She said yes. 3 years later, I'm still trying to impress her. Still trying to be the man she thinks I am. Someone who knows what he's doing. Someone who makes a difference. Someone who doesn't wake up some mornings wondering if he's good enough for any of this. The ring I bought 2 months ago is hidden in my sock drawer. Classic, I know. But every time I think about proposing, something happens. A patient crashes. A shift goes long. I get scared. Not scared of marrying her. Scared of not deserving her. I text back. 1 p.m. sounds perfect. I'll meet you at the cafeteria. 3 dots appear. Then it's a date. Love you too. Sarah glances at my phone, sees my smile. Alicia? Yeah. You're going to propose soon, aren't you? I nearly choke on my coffee. What makes you say that? Because you get this look, like you're terrified and happy at the same time. It's the same look you had before your boards. That's not encouraging. I passed my boards. You also stress ate an entire pizza the night before. And I do it again. She stands, stretches. Her pager beeps. Mine beeps 2 seconds later. The sound we've been trained to respond to like Pavlov's dogs. We check the messages. Multiple trauma incoming. MVA motor vehicle accident. 8:04 minutes. So much for a quiet morning, Sarah says. We head toward the Bay. The hallways are already buzzing with activity. Nurses prepping rooms. Techs wheeling equipment. The ambient sound of organized chaos that means something bad is coming and we have to be ready. This is the part they don't tell you about in medical school. The waiting. The split second between knowing something terrible is about to walk through those doors and actually seeing it. Your heart rate picks up. Your palms sweat. You run through protocols in your head like a prayer. Airway, breathing, circulation, ABCs, the foundation of everything. But sometimes, the real emergency isn't the one you can see on a monitor or measure with vital signs. Sometimes it's the person who walks in asking you to lie, and you don't realize until later that the lie was the only honest thing you could have done. The first patient from the MVA is a teenage boy with a suspected concussion and a lacerated arm. Conscious, alert, scared but stable. Sarah takes him while I move to the next bay. The second patient is an elderly woman with chest pain and a possible rib fracture. Dr. Patricia Morrison, the attending on duty, appears beside me. She's 50-something, gray hair pulled back, eyes that miss nothing. Chest X-ray, CBC, cardiac enzymes, she says, her voice clipped and efficient. Keep her on high-flow oxygen and watch for any respiratory distress. I want updates every 15 minutes. Yes, Dr. Morrison. She moves to the next patient. I turn back to the elderly woman, explain what we're going to do. Try to make my voice sound calm and competent. She nods, grips my hand. Her skin is paper thin, cool. She's someone's grandmother, someone's mother, someone who woke up this morning not knowing that today would be the day she'd see the inside of an A. That's the thing about hospitals. No one plans to be here. Life happens. And then suddenly you're under fluorescent lights with strangers asking about your medical history and whether you've updated your will. The morning slides into afternoon. I see 6 more patients. A child with a fever and a worried mother who keeps apologizing for coming in. A construction worker with a nail through his hand who refuses pain medication because he needs to get back to work. A college student with alcohol poisoning who keeps insisting she only had 2 drinks. At 12:47 p.m., I remember I'm supposed to meet Alicia in 13 minutes. I text her, running a few minutes behind. Crazy morning. Order without me? She responds immediately. No worries. I'll wait. That heart emoji. It's such a small thing, but it makes something in my chest relax. Even in the chaos, she's there. Constant. Patient. I finish my notes on the college student, hand her off to the attending, and head toward the cafeteria. The hospital corridors stretch out in familiar patterns, white walls, blue lines on the floor leading to different departments, the occasional piece of abstract art that someone thought would make the place feel less clinical. I'm almost to the cafeteria entrance when my pager goes off again. New patient. Bay 7. No additional details. I look at my phone. 12:58 p.m. I text Alicia. I'm so sorry. New patient. I'll get there as soon as I can. The 3 dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. Finally, it's okay. I understand. I'll grab us sandwiches and bring them to the resident lounge when you're free. Go save lives. I pocket my phone and head toward Bay 7. The curtain is drawn. I grab the chart from the holder outside. The intake nurse's handwriting is barely legible, but I make out the basics. Patient, Nina Castellano's age, 32, chief complaint, severe abdominal pain, vitals, BP 145 90 seconds, HR 108, temp 99, 1 degree Fahrenheit, O2 sit 96% on room air, elevated blood pressure, tachycardia, low-grade fever, could be appendicitis, could be an ectopic pregnancy, could be a dozen different things. I take a breath, put on my professional face, the one that says I know what I'm doing, even when I'm terrified I don't, and push through the curtain. The woman on the bed is sitting upright, one hand pressed against her lower abdomen, the other gripping the bed rail. She's Hispanic, dark hair pulled into a ponytail, olive skin that looks too pale under the harsh lighting. She's wearing jeans and a black sweater, both expensive looking, but there's something disheveled about her appearance. Like she dressed in a hurry, like she's been crying recently and tried to hide it. Miss Castellanos? I glance at the chart again. I'm Dr. Coleman, one of the residents. Can you tell me what's going on? She looks up at me, and I see her eyes, dark brown, wide, and filled with something that isn't just pain. It's fear. Not the normal fear of being sick. Not the anxiety of not knowing what's wrong. This is different. This is the look of someone running from something. It's my stomach, she says. Her voice is soft, careful, like she's choosing each word. Right side. It started this morning, sharp pain. It's getting worse. I move closer, wash my hands at the small sink in the corner. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is the pain? 7, maybe 8. Any nausea? Vomiting? A little nausea. No vomiting. When was your last period? She hesitates. Just for a fraction of a second. But I notice. 3 weeks ago. Are you sexually active? Yes. Any chance you could be pregnant? I don't think so. I make notes, ask about her medical history, any previous surgeries, current medications, allergies. She answers each question, but there's a tension in her voice, like she's waiting for something, or afraid of something. I'm going to examine your abdomen, I say, pulling on gloves. Let me know if anything hurts. She nods, lies back slowly. I can see the pain in the way she moves, careful and guarded. I palpate her abdomen, starting away from the area of pain, working my way closer. When I press on the right lower quadrant, she gasps, her body going rigid. Okay, I say gently, pulling back. I'm sorry. I know that hurt. Classic rebound tenderness. Right lower quadrant. Could definitely be appendicitis. I'm going to order some blood work and imaging, I explain. We need to figure out what's causing this pain. It could be your appendix, but we need to rule out other possibilities. How long will that take? Couple hours for the labs and CT scan. Maybe longer depending on how backed up radiology is. She closes her eyes, takes a shaky breath. Okay, I'm about to leave to put in the orders when she speaks again. Dr. Coleman? I turn back. Yes? She's staring at me now, really looking at me. And there's something desperate in her expression. I need to ask you something. Her voice drops to almost a whisper. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but I need you to hear me out. Every instinct I have is suddenly on alert. This is the moment. The shift. When a normal case becomes something else entirely. What is it? I ask, keeping my voice neutral, professional. She glances at the curtain, like she's checking to make sure no one else can hear. Then she looks back at me, and I see her eyes filling with tears. I need you to pretend that I'm your fiancé. The words hang in the air between us. For a moment, I think I misheard her. I'm sorry, what? My emergency contact, she says, her words coming faster now. I need it to say that you're my fiancé, that we live together, that we're engaged. I take a step back, my mind racing. Miss Castellanos, I can't, please. The word comes out broken, desperate. Please, I know how it sounds. I know what you're thinking, but I don't have anyone else. I can't put down my real information. I just can't. I don't understand. Why would you? Because if they find me here, if they know where I am, She's crying now, tears streaming down her face. Please, just for today. Just until I can figure this out. I swear I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I swear I'll explain everything. But right now I just need someone on my chart who isn't. Who isn't him? Him. That one word tells me everything and nothing at the same time. I should say no. I should walk out of here right now and tell the attending that this patient is asking me to falsify medical records. I should follow protocol, protect my license, do the right thing. But I look at her face, at the fear that's so raw it's almost physical, and I think about all the lectures I sat through in medical school about treating the whole patient, about seeing beyond the symptoms, about remembering that everyone who comes through these doors is a person first and a diagnosis second. Who's him? I ask quietly. She shakes her head. It doesn't matter. What matters is that if his name is anywhere on my chart, if he gets a call that I'm here, I won't be safe. Do you understand? I won't be safe. Domestic violence. The pieces are clicking together. The fear, the desperation. The way she keeps looking at the curtain like she expects someone to burst through at any moment. Miss Castellanos. Nina, please call me Nina. Nina, I say carefully. If someone is hurting you, there are resources. We have social workers here who specialize in, I know. I've tried. I've been trying for months. Her voice breaks. But he's connected. He knows people. And every time I think I'm free, every time I think I've gotten away, he finds me. And I can't do this anymore. I just need to disappear. But first, I need to make sure I'm not dying of a ruptured appendix while I'm trying to disappear. She laughs, but it's hollow, painful. Please, she says again. I'm begging you. Just put your name down. Just for today. I'll be gone by tomorrow. You'll never see me again. I promise. I stand there frozen, feeling the weight of this decision pressing down on me. If I say yes, I'm lying on official medical records. I'm violating hospital policy. I could lose my residency, my medical license, everything I've worked for. If I say no, I'm sending this woman back out into a world where someone is hurting her. Someone who knows people. Someone she's been running from. I think about Alicia, about the work she does. The stories she tells me about people caught in impossible situations. About how the system that's supposed to help them often fails them instead. I think about the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. But sometimes, the harm isn't the disease. Sometimes, the harm is what happens when you follow the rules, and someone gets hurt because you did. I take a breath. If I do this, I say slowly, you have to promise me you'll talk to our social worker. Today, before you leave. She nods, so quickly I almost miss it. Yes, I promise. And you have to tell me the truth about your medical history. Everything. I can't treat you properly if you're lying to me. I will. I swear. I pull out my pen, look down at the chart, at the blank space where emergency contact is supposed to be filled in. This is wrong. I know it's wrong, but I write it anyway. I finish writing and look up at her. She's staring at me like I just gave her something more valuable than oxygen. Thank you, she whispers. Thank you so much. I'm going to order your labs and imaging now, I say. My voice professional again, like I didn't just commit what could be considered medical fraud. Someone will be in shortly to draw your blood. Try to rest. I leave the bay, curtains swishing closed behind me, and stand in the hallway for a moment, my heart pounding. What did I just do? My phone buzzes. A text from Alicia. Grabbed us turkey sandwiches and chips. Waiting in the lounge whenever you're free. I stare at that heart emoji again, and I wonder if I just made the biggest mistake of my life, or the only right choice I could have made. The afternoon stretches into evening. I put in the orders for Nina's labs and CT scan, try to focus on my other patients, but my mind keeps circling back to Bay 7, to what I did, to the name I wrote on that chart. Sarah finds me at the nurse's station at 3:17 p.m. You okay? You look weird. Weird how? Like you're either going to throw up or run away. Maybe both. I force a smile. Just tired. Tired in a 14-hour shift way, or tired in a something's wrong way. Before I can answer, my pager goes off. Nina's CT scan is ready. I gotta go, I tell Sarah. She watches me walk away, and I know she knows something's off. Sarah has a sixth sense for when I'm spiraling. We've been through too many late-night study sessions, too many panic attacks before exams, too many moments of doubt for her not to recognize the signs. But right now, I can't explain. Can't tell her what I did. I head to radiology, pull up Nina's scan on the computer. Dr. James Wu, the radiologist on duty, is already reviewing it. "Coleman," he says without looking up. "Your appendicitis in Bay 7? Yeah. What are we looking at?" He points to the screen. No signs of appendicitis. No inflammation, no fluid collection, nothing abnormal with the appendix at all. I lean closer. Then what's causing the pain? "See this?" He traces something on the screen. "Right ovary. There's a complex mass. Could be a hemorrhagic cyst. Could be a tumor. Hard to say without more imaging." My stomach drops. "How big?" "About 6 centimeters. Not huge, but significant. Given her symptoms, it's likely ruptured or leaking. She needs gynecology consult, probably surgery." "How urgent?" "Depends on whether it's bleeding. If it's an active bleed, very urgent. If it's just leaking, she's got maybe 12 to 24 hours before it becomes critical." "Okay, thanks." Dr. Wu. I head back toward Bay 7, my mind racing through the differential diagnosis, treatment options, what I need to tell Nina, what I need to document, how quickly we can get a gynecology consult. And then I see her, Alicia. She's walking down the hallway toward the carrying a brown paper bag, the sandwiches she promised, and she's smiling at something on her phone. She looks up, sees me, waves. "Hey, finally have time for lunch?" She calls out. "Alicia, it's almost 3:30. I know it's technically dinner at this point, but I'm sorry, I just got pulled into something. Critical patient. I can't." Her smile falters a little, but she recovers quickly. That's Alicia, always understanding, always patient. "No worries, want me to leave these in the lounge for later?" "Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you." She comes closer, stands on her tiptoes to kiss my cheek. "You look stressed. Just a long day. You're always taking care of everyone else. Make sure you take care of yourself too, okay?" I nod, trying to look normal, trying not to let her see the guilt that's crawling up my throat. "I will, I promise. I love you," she says, and it's so simple, so genuine, that for a moment I forget everything else. "I love you too." She walks past me toward the resident lounge, and I head to Bay 7, feeling like I'm walking toward something I can't take back. Nina is sitting up in bed, scrolling through her phone when I enter. She looks up quickly, nervous energy in every movement. "Dr. Coleman, did you get my results?" I pull a stool over, sit down. "The good news is, it's not appendicitis. And the bad news? You have an ovarian mass. About 6 centimeters. It looks like it might be leaking or ruptured, which is causing your pain." Her face goes pale. "Ovarian mass, like cancer?" "Not necessarily. It could be a cyst. But we need to get gynecology to evaluate you. Depending on what they find, you might need surgery." "Surgery?" She says it like it's a foreign word. "How soon?" "Could be tonight. Could be tomorrow morning. Depends on the surgeon's assessment." She's quiet for a long moment, staring at her hands. Then she looks up at me. "Will I have to stay overnight?" "Probably yes." "And the emergency contact? That stays the same." I hesitate. "Nina, if you're staying overnight, if you're having surgery, there are going to be people asking questions. Other doctors, nurses, the surgical team. They're going to want to talk to your fiancé. They're going to expect." "I know." Her voice is tight. "I know what I'm asking. And I know it's not fair to you. But I don't have a choice. If he finds out I'm here, if he figures out where I am." She trails off, shakes her head. "I just need tonight. Just one night to figure out what to do next." "What about the social worker?" "You promised. I will talk to them. I promise, but not today. Not while I'm dealing with this. Please, Dr. Coleman, just give me until tomorrow." There's a desperation in her voice that makes my chest ache. I think about all the patients I've seen, all the people who come through these doors, carrying burdens I can't understand, facing situations I've never had to navigate. Who am I to judge what she needs to survive? "Okay," I say finally. "But tomorrow, first thing, you talk to someone. Deal?" "Deal." I stand up. "I'm going to page gynecology now. Someone should be down within the hour." "Thank you," she says softly, "for everything." I leave the bay, feeling the weight of this decision like a stone in my chest. The rest of the evening passes in a blur. I see more patients. A heart attack scare that turns out to be anxiety. A kid with a broken arm from a skateboarding accident. A homeless man with pneumonia who doesn't want to be admitted because his dog can't come with him. At 7:43 p.m., Dr. Rachel Foster from gynecology comes down to evaluate Nina. She's in her 40s, sharp and efficient, the kind of surgeon who doesn't waste words. I brief her on the case, show her the imaging. She nods, makes notes, heads into Bay 7. 20 minutes later, she comes out. I'm taking her up for surgery tonight, Dr. Foster says. The mass is actively bleeding. Not an emergency yet, but it will be if we wait. I've scheduled her for 10 p.m. Okay, I'll make sure everything's ready. You're her fiancé, right? That's what she said. My blood goes cold. I'm sorry? She mentioned you were engaged, said you're a resident here. That's convenient, at least. You'll be able to check on her during recovery. I open my mouth, close it. The lie has expanded, taken on a life of its own. Yeah, I hear myself say. Yeah, I'll be here. Dr. Foster studies me for a moment, like she's trying to figure something out, then shrugs. She seems nervous. Make sure she's calm before we take her up. Anxiety can complicate anesthesia. I will. She walks away, and I stand there in the hallway, feeling like the walls are closing in. This was supposed to be simple. Put a name on a chart, help someone in need, be gone by tomorrow. But now she's going into surgery. Now there are surgeons and anesthesiologists and nurses who think I'm her fiancé. Now the lie has roots, spreading through the hospital like a virus. I check my phone, 3 texts from Alicia. Hope your patient is okay. Left your sandwich in the lounge. Don't forget to eat. Heading home. Call me when you get off shift. Love you. I type back. Sorry for the crazy day. I'll call you later. Love you. At 9:45 p.m., I go to Bay 7 one last time before Nina's surgery. She's in a hospital gown now, and 4 in her arm, looking small and scared on the bed. Hey, I say softly. How are you feeling? Terrified. That's normal. Dr. Foster is one of the best. You're in good hands. It's not the surgery I'm scared of. She looks at me, and there's something in her eyes. Gratitude mixed with guilt. I'm scared of what happens after. When I wake up, when I have to face everything I've been running from. You don't have to face it alone. There are people who can help. I know, and I will. I promise. She pauses. Dr. Coleman, Marcus, I'm sorry for putting you in this position. I know what I'm asking is wrong. I know you could get in trouble, but I didn't know what else to do. It's okay, I say, even though I'm not sure it is. Just focus on getting through surgery. We'll figure out the rest later. The transport team arrives. They prep her bed, check her for, go through their checklist. Ready to go? One of the techs asks Nina. She nods, looks at me one more time. Thank you. They wheel her out, and I watch her disappear down the hallway toward the elevators. I should feel relieved. She's getting the care she needs. The surgery will fix the bleeding. She'll recover. She'll figure out her situation with the social worker's help. This will all work out. But I don't feel relieved. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of something, and one wrong step will send everything crashing down. At 11:23 p.m., I'm in the resident lounge, finally eating the sandwich Alicia left for me. It's cold, the bread a little soggy, but it's food, and I haven't eaten since breakfast. Sarah comes in, looking as exhausted as I feel. How's your patient? She asks, dropping onto the couch. The one with the ovarian mass? In surgery now. Should be out within the hour. You've been weird all day. What's going on? Nothing. Just tired. Marcus. She says my name like she's my mother and she knows I'm lying. We've been friends for 2 years. I know when something's wrong. I want to tell her. Want to explain what I did, why I did it, ask her if I made the right choice. But the words stick in my throat. I'm fine, I say instead. Really, just a long shift. She doesn't look convinced, but she doesn't push. Okay, but if you need to talk ... double quote. I know, thanks. She closes her eyes and within minutes, she's asleep on the couch. The ability to sleep anywhere, anytime, is a skill you develop fast in residency. I sit there, sandwich forgotten, staring at my phone. I should call Alicia. Should tell her about my gay. Should hear her voice and let it ground me. But I can't, not yet. Not while I'm still lying to everyone. At 12:47 a.m., my pager goes off. Nina's out of surgery, stable, recovery room. I head upstairs to the surgical floor, find her in the PSCU post-anesthesia care unit, still groggy but awake. "Hey," I say softly. "How are you feeling?" Like I got hit by a truck. Her voice is hoarse from the breathing tube. "But alive. Surgery went well. Dr. Foster removed the mass. It was a hemorrhagic cyst. Benign. You're going to be fine." She closes her eyes, and I see tears leak out from under her lids. "Thank God. You'll be here for a couple days for observation. But you should have a full recovery. Thank you," she whispers, "for everything." I stay with her until she falls asleep, then head back to the ER to finish my shift. The rest of the night passes in a fog. More patients, more charts, more decisions that feel significant and insignificant all at once. At 6:52 a.m., my shift ends. I change out of my scrubs, grab my bag, and walk out to the parking lot. The sun is just starting to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. My phone rings. "Alicia." "Hey," I answer, trying to sound normal. "Hey, baby. Just wanted to catch you before you went to sleep. How was your night?" "Long, but okay. You sound tired." "I am. Get some rest. I'll bring dinner by your place tonight, okay? We can watch something mindless and just relax." "That sounds perfect. I love you, Marcus. I love you too." I hang up, get in my car, and sit there for a moment in silence. I did the right thing. I know I did. So why does it feel like I'm about to lose everything? The next morning, technically the same day, just 12 hours later, I wake up to my phone buzzing on my nightstand. I grab it, squinting at the screen. It's 2:47 p.m., 14 text messages, 6 missed calls, all from numbers I don't recognize. My heart starts racing before I'm even fully awake. I open the first text. "This is the St. Halstead OR department. We need you to call us regarding patient Nina Castellanos." The second, "Dr. Coleman, this is Sarah Chun. Where are you? Call me ASAP." The third, "Dr. Coleman, this is Dr. Morrison. I need you to come to the hospital immediately." My hands are shaking as I scroll through the rest. Different departments, different people, all asking the same thing. "Where are you? Call us. Come in. It's urgent." The last text is from Sarah. "Marcus, I don't know what's going on, but you need to get here now. There's a woman claiming to be your fiancé and another woman saying she is your fiancé, and Dr. Morrison is about to lose her mind." I'm out of bed and pulling on clothes before I finish reading the message. This is it. This is the moment everything falls apart. I drive to the hospital breaking at least 4 traffic laws, my mind spinning through possible scenarios, possible explanations, possible ways to fix this. Maybe Nina's family showed up. Maybe the man she was running from found her. Maybe the lie I told is about to become everyone's problem. Or maybe no, it can't be that. But as I pull into the hospital parking lot, as I run through the automatic doors toward the E, I know exactly what happened. Because standing in the hallway outside Nina's recovery room, I see her, Alicia, and she's talking to Nina, who's sitting up in bed. And both of them are staring at each other with expressions I can't read. Dr. Morrison is there too, and Sarah, and a nurse I don't recognize. They all turn when they hear me approaching, and the looks on their faces make me want to turn around and run. "Dr. Coleman," Dr. Morrison says, her voice like ice. "I think we need to have a conversation. I can explain. Can you?" She holds up a chart. Nina's chart, the one where I wrote my name as her emergency contact, as her fiancé. Because I'd love to hear how you're engaged to a patient while also being in a relationship with Ms. Thompson here, who just informed me that you two have been together for 3 years and are planning to get married. Alicia is staring at me, her face pale, her eyes red like she's been crying. "Marcus," she says quietly, "what's going on?" I look at Nina, who's turned away, her shoulders shaking. "I can explain. You need to explain right now," Dr. Morrison cuts in. "Because falsifying medical records is grounds for immediate termination of your residency. Not to mention the ethical violations, the potential legal ramifications, And the fact that you've made this hospital liable for, it was my fault. Nina's voice cuts through the tension. She's looking at me now, tears streaming down her face. It was all my fault. I asked him to lie. I begged him to put his name on my chart. He didn't want to. He said no at first. But I was desperate, and I didn't know what else to do. Why? Alicia asks, her voice breaking. Why would you ask him to pretend to be your fiancé? Why him? Nina takes a shaky breath. Because he was the first doctor who looked at me like I was a person and not just a case. Because when I told him I was scared, he believed me. And because I didn't have anyone else. I don't have anyone else. The hallway is silent except for the ambient sound of monitors and distant voices. I'm sorry, Nina continues, looking at Alethea now. I'm so sorry. I didn't know about you. He didn't tell me he had someone. And I never should have put him in this position. I was selfish and scared, and I made him compromise everything he's worked for because I was too afraid to face my own problems. What problems? Doctor, Morrison asks, her voice slightly softer now. What were you running from? Nina closes her eyes, takes a breath, and starts talking. My ex-husband, Giulio Castellanos. We were married for 5 years. He's a lawyer, corporate litigation, connected, important, and violent. The word hangs in the air. It started small, emotional abuse, controlling where I went, who I talked to. Then it got physical. A push here, a slap there. I told myself it wasn't that bad, that I could fix it, that if I just tried harder, if I was better, it would stop. She's crying now, but her voice stays steady. I left him 8 months ago, filed for divorce, got a restraining order, moved to a new apartment, changed my phone number, did everything the lawyers told me to do, and Dr. Morrison prompts. And he kept finding me. He has friends in the police department, friends in the courts. Every time I thought I was safe, every time I thought I'd finally gotten away, he'd show up. At my work, at my apartment, at the grocery store, just ... watching me, reminding me that he could get to me anytime he wanted. Sarah is the first to speak. Why didn't you go to the police? I did, multiple times. But there's only so much they can do. He never technically violated the restraining order. Never made direct threats. He's too smart for that. He just ... exists. In my space. In my life, and every time I see him, I remember what he's capable of. So you came here, I say quietly. And you were afraid that if his name was on your chart, someone would call him. Yes, the intake form asks for emergency contacts. I panicked. I couldn't put anyone real because he knows everyone I know. He monitors my phone, my email, everything. And I was in so much pain, and I was so scared. And when you walked in, when you looked at me like I mattered, I thought maybe you could help. By lying, Dr. Morrison states. By giving me one day where I could just be a patient. One day where I didn't have to be afraid. One day where someone protected me instead of exposing me. Alicia has been quiet this whole time, but now she speaks. Where is he now? Your ex-husband? I don't know. I've been here for almost 24 hours. He's probably looking for me, probably furious that I disappeared again. You need to talk to someone, Alicia says. Someone who specializes in domestic violence cases. Someone who can help you get somewhere safe. I know, Doctor. Coleman said the same thing, and I promised I would. After the surgery, after I was stable, she looks at me. I'm sorry I didn't keep that promise either. Dr. Morrison crosses her arms, looks at me. Dr. Coleman, you understand that what you did was a serious violation of protocol. Yes, you falsified medical records. You created a personal relationship with a patient that doesn't exist. You made this hospital liable for any complications that could have arisen from this deception. I know, but ... She pauses, and I see something shift in her expression. But I also understand that you were faced with an impossible choice, and that sometimes the right thing to do is not the thing that follows the rules. I stare at her, not quite believing what I'm hearing. However, she continues, this cannot happen again, ever. Do you understand me? Yes, ma'am. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this again, you come to me. You come to an attending. You come to someone who can help navigate the system without compromising your integrity or your career. Understood? Understood. She looks at Nina. As for you, Miss Castellanos, I'm going to have our head social worker come up here. Her name is Patricia Santos. She's worked with domestic violence survivors for 20 years. She'll help you figure out your next steps. And I'm going to make sure that no information about your stay here is released to anyone without your explicit consent. You're safe here, for as long as you need to be. Nina nods, fresh tears sliding down her cheeks. Thank you. Dr. Morrison leaves, Sarah follows, and suddenly it's just me, Alicia, and Nina in this hallway. The silence is suffocating. Alicia speaks first. I need to talk to you, she says to me. Alone. We walk to the family waiting room at the end of the hall. It's empty, pale blue walls, uncomfortable chairs, a coffee machine that's been broken for 6 months. Alicia stands by the window, her back to me. When the hospital called me this morning, she says quietly, they said my fiance's patient needed to speak with me. I was confused. I thought maybe it was a mistake, but I came anyway because they said it was important. Alicia, when I got here, there was a woman in a hospital bed telling me she was engaged to you, telling me about how you took care of her, how you made her feel safe, how you were going to check on her during recovery. It's not what you think. I know it's not. She turns to face me now, and I see she's crying. I know because I know you, Marcus. I know you wouldn't cheat on me. I know you wouldn't lie to me without a reason. Then why are you crying? Because you didn't tell me. Her voice breaks. Because you carried this alone. Because when you had to make an impossible choice, you didn't think you could come to me. The truth of that hits me like a physical blow. I was trying to protect you, I say weakly. From what? From knowing that sometimes being a good person means breaking the rules. From seeing that you're not perfect. She wipes her eyes. Marcus, I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be honest. I need you to trust me with the hard things, not just the easy ones. I'm sorry. I spent 3 years with a man who fights every day to help people, who loses sleep over patients he can't save, who questions every decision because he wants so badly to do the right thing. And you didn't think I'd understand why you helped someone in danger? I was scared. Of what? Of losing you, of disappointing you, of proving that I'm not the man you think I am. She crosses the room, stands in front of me, takes my face in her hands. Marcus Coleman, she says firmly, you are exactly the man I think you are. You're flawed and scared, and you make mistakes. And you care so much about doing the right thing that sometimes you tie yourself in knots trying to figure out what that is. That's who you are. That's who I love. You're not mad? I'm furious that you didn't trust me. But I'm not mad about what you did. You helped someone who needed help. You took a risk to protect someone who was in danger. That's not something to be ashamed of. I pull her into my arms, hold her tight, feel her breath against my neck. I'm sorry, I whisper again. I know. Just next time, talk to me. Let me be part of it. Okay? Okay. We stand there for a long moment, just holding each other, and I feel something loosen in my chest. The weight I've been carrying for the last 24 hours starts to lift. When we pull apart, Alicia smiles, small, but real. We should go talk to Nina, she says. I think she could use some support right now. You want to help her? Of course I want to help her. That's literally my job, remember? I work with people in crisis every day. And besides ... double quotes, she pauses. Besides, any woman brave enough to ask a stranger to pretend to be her fiancé because she's that desperate for protection, that woman deserves all the help we can give her. We walk back to Nina's room together. She's sitting up in bed, staring at her hands, looking lost. Nina, Alicia says gently. Hi, I'm Alicia Thompson. I'm a social worker with Children's Services, but I have contacts in domestic violence advocacy. I'd like to help you, if you'll let me. Nina looks up, surprise and hope warring on her face. You you want to help me? After what I did? What you did was survive, and you reached out for help when you needed it. That takes courage. Alicia pulls a chair over, sits down. So let's talk about what comes next, because you're not going through this alone anymore. I watch them talk, Alicia asking gentle questions, Nina answering with increasing openness, and I realize something. This is what love looks like. Not the perfect moments or the grand gestures, but this, showing up for someone who needs help, offering grace when it would be easier to judge, choosing to be kind when kindness costs something. My pager goes off. Another patient, another crisis. The hospital never stops. But before I leave, Alicia catches my hand, squeezes it. "I'll take it from here," she says. "Go save lives," I squeeze back. "Thank you." "For what?" "For being you." She smiles, turns back to Nina, and I walk out of the room feeling lighter than I have in days. 3 days later, I'm in the resident lounge when Sarah drops down beside me. "So," she says, "heard the full story about your fake fiancé." I groan. "Of course you did. Hospital gossip travels faster than staph infections." She nudges my shoulder. "For what it's worth, I think you did the right thing. Dr. Morrison nearly ended my career, but she didn't. Because deep down, even she knows that sometimes the rules don't cover every situation." Sarah takes a sip of her coffee. "How's the patient?" "Nina? Better. Alicia helped her get in touch with a women's shelter that specializes in high-risk cases. They're working on getting her relocated somewhere her ex can't find her. New city, new identity if necessary." "And her ex?" "Alicia's contacts in the DV unit filed some additional reports, built a stronger case. He's being investigated for stalking and harassment. It's not perfect, but it's a start." "Good." Sarah's quiet for a moment. "You know what I realized watching all this unfold?" "What?" "That we get so focused on following protocols and covering our asses that sometimes we forget why we became doctors in the first place. It's not about the rules. It's about the people. Try telling that to the medical board. I'm serious. We spend so much time afraid of making mistakes that we forget that sometimes the mistake is not taking a risk when someone needs us to." I think about that. About Nina's face when I wrote my name on her chart. About the relief, the gratitude. About Alicia's words. "You are exactly the man I think you are." "Yeah," I say finally. "Yeah, I guess you're right." My pager goes off. Trauma incoming. MVA, multiple casualties. Sarah and I stand, muscle memory kicking in, the familiar rhythm of response taking over. "Ready?" she asks. "Always." We head toward the E-Bay side by side, ready for whatever comes through those doors next. Because that's what we do. We show up. We help. We try our best. And sometimes, when we're lucky, our best is enough. 4 days after that, I'm finishing up a shift when I see a familiar figure in the hospital lobby. Nina. She's dressed in jeans and a jacket, a duffel bag slung over her shoulder. She looks better, healthier, more rested. But there's still tension in her shoulders, still caution in her eyes. "Hey," I say, walking over. "You doing okay?" "Yeah, I'm leaving today. Heading to the bus station. New city? New life." She smiles, small but genuine. "I can't tell you where. The shelter advised against it, but I wanted to say goodbye. And thank you. One more time." "You don't have to thank me." "Yes, I do. You risked everything for a stranger. Not many people would do that. I just did what anyone would." "No," she cuts me off gently. "You did what a good person would do." There's a difference. We stand there for a moment in the busy lobby, people streaming past us, the hospital continuing its endless cycle of crisis and recovery. "Can I ask you something?" Nina says. "Sure. Did you propose yet? To Alicia?" I laugh, surprised. "How did you? The way you talked about her. The way your face changed when you mentioned her name. That's not just a girlfriend. That's someone you want to spend your life with." "Yeah," I admit. "I want to. I'm scared. Of not being enough. Of not living up to what she deserves." Nina looks at me for a long moment, then reaches out and squeezes my hand. "Dr. Coleman, Marcus, you saved my life. Not just physically, but in every way that matters. If you can do that for a stranger, imagine what you can do for someone you love." She smiles. "She's lucky to have you." Don't make her wait too long to make it official. Before I can respond, she's walking away, disappearing into the crowd, heading toward whatever comes next. I stand there, watching her go, and I think about fear, about how it can paralyze us, stop us from taking chances. keep us safe but alone. And I think about courage, about how sometimes it looks like a woman asking a stranger for help. Sometimes it looks like a doctor breaking the rules to protect someone. Sometimes it looks like a social worker showing up for someone who hurt her. And sometimes it looks like asking the person you love to marry you. Even when you're terrified, they'll realize you're not perfect. I pull out my phone, send a text to Alicia. Dinner tonight? My place? I want to talk to you about something. 3 dots appear immediately. Then, is everything okay? Everything's perfect. I just have a question I need to ask. A question? Yeah, an important one. More dots. Then, I'll be there at 7. Should I be nervous? I smile. Only if you don't like surprises. I pocket my phone and head back to the A, already planning what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it. The ring is still in my sock drawer, but not for much longer. That evening, my apartment is cleaner than it's been in months. I've set the table, nothing fancy, just the good plates I never use and candles I bought from the grocery store. I've cooked pasta, which is one of 3 dishes I can make without burning down the kitchen. The ring box sits in my pocket, small and heavy and terrifying. Alicia arrives at 7:03 p.m., which means she's early by normal people standards, but late by her standards. She's wearing jeans and a blue sweater, her hair down, and she's so beautiful it makes my chest ache. Hey, she says, kissing my cheek. Something smells good. I cooked. You cooked? Are we celebrating something? Maybe. Sit down. I'll get the food. We eat and we talk about our days, her difficult case with a family in crisis, my shift that was surprisingly calm. We laugh about something stupid one of my co-residents did. We debate whether we should finally watch that show everyone keeps recommending. It's normal, perfect, us. And then, when the plates are cleared and the candles have burned down halfway, I take a breath. So, I say, I wanted to talk to you about something. Alicia leans forward, her eyes bright. I'm listening. The whole thing with Nina ... It made me realize something. What's that? That I've been scared for the wrong reasons. I've been so worried about being perfect, about being good enough, about proving that I deserve you, that I forgot the most important thing, which is that love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up. It's about being honest. It's about trusting someone with your flaws and your fears and your doubts. And you ... I swallow hard. You've shown me that every single day for 3 years. You've shown up for me when I was at my worst. You've believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. You've loved me not despite my imperfections, but including them. Tears are forming in her eyes. Marcus ... So I have a question. I reach into my pocket, pull out the box, and drop to one knee right there in my tiny apartment kitchen. Alicia Thompson, will you marry me? I open the box. The ring catches the candlelight, simple, elegant, exactly what I imagined she'd want. She's crying now, her hands over her mouth, and for a terrifying second, I think she's going to say no, that I've misread everything, that I'm about to have my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. Yes, she breathes. Yes, of course I'll marry you. I slide the ring onto her finger, and she pulls me up, kisses me, and we're both crying and laughing and holding each other like we're the only 2 people in the world. I was starting to think you'd never ask, she says when we finally pull apart. I was starting to think I didn't deserve you. Marcus, she cups my face in her hands. You beautiful, impossible, self-doubting man. You deserve everything good in this world. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you know that. We stand there in the kitchen, slow dancing to no music, and I think about the journey that led us here. About Nina, who asked a stranger to lie for her because she had no one else. About Alicia, who showed up when she could have walked away. About Dr. Morrison, who saw beyond the rules to the human need beneath them. About all the patients I've treated, all the lives I've touched, all the moments where I had to choose between what was right and what was easy. And I realized that this is what medicine is supposed to be. Not the protocols or the procedures or the perfect decisions, but the moment when you look at another human being and choose to help them, even when it costs you something, even when it's hard, even when you're scared. Because at the end of the day, We're all just people trying to survive in a world that's often unkind. And the greatest gift we can give each other is grace. The grace to be imperfect. The grace to make mistakes. The grace to ask for help when we need it. The grace to be human. A week later, I'm back in the AIA. Same hallways. Same monitors beeping. Same controlled chaos. But something's different. I'm different. I treat a 5-year-old with a fever, and when his mother apologizes for coming in, I tell her she did exactly the right thing. That her instinct to protect her child matters more than any protocol. I treat an elderly man with heart palpitations, and I sit with him for an extra 10 minutes because he's scared and alone, and sometimes the best medicine is just presence. I treat a teenager who came in with stomach pain, but is really here because she's pregnant and terrified to tell her parents. I connect her with resources. I make sure she knows she's not alone. And at the end of my shift, when Sarah asks me how I'm doing, I tell her the truth. I'm good, really good. Yeah? Yeah, I'm engaged, she screams, actually screams. Right there in the middle of the A. What? When? Show me the ring. Does Alicia know you're telling people? Oh my God, Marcus. I laugh. Show her the picture I took of Alicia's hand with the ring. Accept her hug and her congratulations and her insistence that we're celebrating this weekend. And as I drive home that night, as I think about everything that's happened, I realize something Nina said was right. If I can risk everything for a stranger, imagine what I can do for the people I love. Imagine what we can all do if we're brave enough to try. The hospital will always be here. The patients will always need help. The choices will always be complicated. But now I know something I didn't know before. Sometimes the right thing to do is the thing that breaks the rules. Sometimes courage looks like asking for help. Sometimes love means showing up when it would be easier to walk away. And sometimes the greatest act of healing isn't fixing what's broken. It's being present for someone while they fix themselves. 3 months later, I get a postcard in the mail. No return address. Just a picture of a sunset over mountains and a message on the back. Dr. Coleman, I'm safe. I'm healing. I'm starting over. Thank you for teaching me that asking for help isn't weakness. It's survival. And thank you for showing me that there are still good people in the world. Sometimes they walk on 2 legs instead of 4 paws, but they're heroes just the same. I pinned the postcard to the bulletin board in the resident lounge, next to Sarah's collection of terrible hospital coffee jokes, and the schedule that's always 3 weeks out of date. And every time I look at it, I remember that we're all just trying to survive, that we all deserve grace, that the rules exist to guide us, but humanity should always come first, and that sometimes the person who asks you to pretend to be their fiancé isn't asking for a lie. They're asking for a lifeline, and if you're brave enough to throw it, you might just save more than one life. You might save your own. Sometimes the right thing to do is the thing that breaks the rules. Sometimes courage looks like asking for help, and sometimes the greatest act of healing isn't fixing what's broken. It's being present for someone while they fix themselves.